What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 5 of Lyon Live here in Football Manager 2019. And well, today we are on the brand new Football Manager patch. Yes, 19.3 has dropped. It does do some changes to the match engine. I have no idea how it's going to affect our tactics or anything else for that matter. No crazy major changes, to be honest, in the update. Some tweaks to the match engine which we might spot. But there wasn't anything that jumped out at me as things which we need to be immediately concerned with here at Lyon. But I thought today we'd start by looking at who probably is so far the player of the series. Martin Terrier has kind of come in to be Depay's replacement. And of course, last episode, 2 goals in 2 games to his name. He has been a very good player for us. Really rate the 20-year-old. Averaged an 8.35 average rating. And you can see here, Tanguy Ndombele definitely deserves a mention here. He is, well, you can see, he's got 3 assists so far in 2 league games from box-to-box midfield. That is a really tremendous return. Loving the look of that. Hopefully he can keep it going. Of course, last time we played those 2 league games. Today we're going to be continuing on. We've got Strasbourg and Nice. We then do have an international break. As I mentioned during the very first episode towards the end of it, with international breaks, I might just skip over those off episodes if I'm not doing any signings and such. But one thing that I have been thinking about is actually what transfer business I want to kind of continue to do here. And one thing I think I probably should do is look at picking up a fullback who can play left and right wing back. As much as I like Morel, he's not really an out-and-out wing back, and at 34 he is certainly not going to last more than 1 year. And there was one player actually at Strasbourg who we played in our first game who I was particularly interested in, and it was Kenny Lala. Our scouts actually went out and looked at him at one point, and he is a player who can play very well at right back. And he can also play competently at left back, so we could train him there. And I really like this guy because he's got good important matches, good consistency, and his contract's up at the end of the year. So with that in mind, I'm going to stick in a transfer offer, and if we can get him for any less than 4 million, I think he could be a really good backup. And looking at it, it might not even be more than 3.2, 3.3 million we need to pay for him. 3.2. I mean, for a young fullback who is, well, I say young, 26. I mean, as a backup fullback, he'll be very good. I hope he's not going to have too crazy a wage demands. He's currently on £7,000. Yeah, you can see here he wants to come in as a backup on 14 grand for kind of a third choice left back / right back. 14,000 is really good. In fact, it puts him right down there as one of the lowest earners in the squad. And he is consistent and he does enjoy big matches. We might even be able to eke down the contract a little more and offer him a slightly longer term deal. So yeah, £12,000. That would be really, really good value for money as far as I'm concerned. We will just get one more scout report on him. Of course, in terms of other players that we're signing, Martinez is the guy who I'm particularly keen on signing. I was thinking about if I should actually go in for Saint Maxime, just because Saint Maximin here, he looks very good, and he's 21. He's playing for Nice, who we do actually play. With our scouts continuing to take a look at him, I just think he might be a good value for money, and he can play on both wings, which is very, very nice. But we'll see. We'll see what the scouts say. We'll see if Lala happens and if Martinez happens. In terms of our general squad balance, though, at this point, I'd say I'm pretty happy with it. It's not perfect. Realistically, I would have loved to have got rid of Mbia, who still sits in the reserves, but I just don't think he's going to bugger off. Of course, we have got Raphael, but he is leaving in January, and so with that in mind, I don't really want to feature him in the first team that much, if at all. So with that in mind, he's just going to sit in the reserves. Obviously, we've got good right-backs. If Lala comes in, we'll have 3 very good right-backs, but in Dubois, who actually is probably fairly close to Lala in terms of quality here. Lala, not so good defensively, but maybe a little better when it comes to athletically getting up and down the pitch. And then, of course, Tete. I feel like Raphael just isn't really needed so much. We've got really good, strong right-backs. Lala, we'll just add to that a little bit more. And the money that we're looking at to potentially sign him really isn't too crazy for a player who is as consistent and, well, rated highly as our scouts seem to think he could be. But yes, I want to just, I guess, whilst I continue forward here, just say thank you for the support on the series yet again. We have been doing some fairly longer episodes. I think today's is probably going to be a little shorter. I say this, I might end up panicking in the transfer market and needing to change things. But I feel like, at least at the moment, they're just going well, aren't they? Apparently, our players aren't happy with the standard of technical defensive coaching. I thought our coaching for technical defensively was pretty good. Technical defense, oh, okay. Did I not reassign this? I guess I didn't. Who did I bring into play to do this? It was Bolingbroke, wasn't it, who we brought in? And then Rig. What did I bring in Rig to do? Was it tactical? I really can't remember. Oh, wait, no. He was meant to do the technical coaching. It was just the fact that Bolingbroke here was misassigned. But we fixed that now. The workloads are all fine. Right. I guess I forgot to do that after we got all the new staff members in. But, excuse me. The good news is our players have gone, oi, Gaffer. We've got that crap coach taking the defensive technical sessions. So we can make the fix on that pretty quickly. And Dick is another player who people have mentioned a little bit in the comments. He did only move to Frankfurt this year for 4.5 million, but he is unhappy at the club. I have a feeling that they're going to want far too much money realistically, and that he might not even want to sign anyway. I wonder. I just wonder, actually. Maybe there is a deal to be had here. Again, I'm going to put in one of those clauses for international games. 9 million, that is not what I wanted to negotiate there. Have I got another scout report going on him? I have. Yeah, a few people mentioned him in the comments. I will say thank you for all your suggestions. It's been really cool just getting a load to look through. A lot of people have been suggesting players in South America. Obviously, we have the limit on non-EU players. And Josef Martinez here is about to take up the 4th slot for that. So really we're focusing on European players here. But Martinez, I think, is a very, very good signing to get in. We can send him on an intensive language course and also bring him into the team, of course. But yeah, I really, really like this guy as a striker. He's got some really nice player traits. Can play out on the left, which is good as an inside forward. I feel like as a striker, he's going to offer us a very, very good rival to Dembele. Of course, with all the injuries we had, one concern that I had was the fact we didn't really have a striker on the bench. We now do have that in Martinez. And with that in mind, I'm going to set Marin just to be available for the reserves. I definitely recommend this. Sometimes you'll have very good young players who you don't want to loan out because you kind of need them as backup. One thing I like to do very frequently is just make those young players available for the reserve. It gives them match kind of time. It gives them a chance to build up some match fitness. But at the same time, you know, you do have them at your disposal to bring into the team where necessary. Anyway, Lopez is back now as well, so we can bring him back in goal. I mean, to be honest, I'm pretty happy with the squad now. Lala would be a good signing just for a little bit of strength and depth. And 3.2 million seems like a really good deal, to be honest. Really, really rate him at that kind of fee. You can see he comes in and he is going to be kind of considered 3rd or 4th best right back behind Rafaela, who's included in that. But if we can get him to play left back as well, he's probably going to be better than Morel at left back. And he is better than Morel at left back. He just needs to learn to play it. And also the fact he can semi-play centre back makes him a very good player on the bench. So yes, I really like Kenny Lala here. Obviously, if you've been playing FIFA this year, you've probably encountered him quite a bit. He's been in really good form this year. I think I talked about that in one of the very early episodes, that he was kind of a player who was on my radar as potentially a player we could bring in. I feel like for 3.2 million and £14,000 a week, he is just an ideal kind of backup option to have there. You can see that's kind of how our assistant views him, a backup who could well improve. And there ain't nothing wrong with having backups who can improve, really. Just got to make sure we do actually register him, otherwise things might get a little bit awkward. So right, that's all the deals that we had going on in terms of ins now settled, and was left with, well, £100,000 in the wages and 11 million in the transfer budget. Of course, we can potentially rejig these now a little bit. We can, cut the wage budget down and have a teeny bit more money to spend. Realistically, we're going to have about £12 million, so I could get into one like St. Maxim as an option. I do like the look of this guy. He's one of those kind of potato mental wingers where they're a winger who's very athletic, very good technically, but their mentals are just awful. But he is only 21. And he would just give us a little more strength and depth in the wide area. My only concern really is he might take away first team opportunities from younger players who I might quite like to give that kind of that young, first team football to. They're offer 8.5 million. They want 11.25, 8.5. They've gone back to 11.25. I'm not that happy offering that much. Maybe 9 million, 9.5 is what we'd have to offer for him. Let's try 9 million and see what they say. You might have noticed there how I cancelled the offer after they kind of locked in an offer and then just came back to it. You can do that quite often in negotiations if there's a bit of back and forth and it kind of all gets seized up a little. 9.75 million is not cheap. But he's a very good player who's good on either wing. I mean, if we just look at our squad depth page here, this is probably the best place to get an idea of how we look. And then if we up the minimum ability to 3-star. So right back would be pretty useful. Obviously, we've got loads of striking options now who can also play on the wings. The only issue for Saint Maximin is that basically the fact that he is right-footed, so he kind of fits into a similar mould to some of these players who would play out on the left. I mean, just looking at this in general, I'm pretty happy with the strength and depth. I do think a wide player who can play on the right is probably what I would need. You can see, obviously, Kenny Lala comes in and is a very good kind of backup. We probably should just sort out his training real quick. So we want him to be training to play left back on attack. And you can just see how well suited he is to that. He's lacking in his marking just a little bit, but we can focus on defensive positioning to help with that. He's going to be a really good backup. In terms of value for money, I'm very happy with the Kenny Lala deal. Very, very happy indeed. Obviously, the new updates in the game. One thing to be aware of is in my recording software, I've had to change some bits because they weren't working with the new FM update. As far as I'm aware, obviously, it's all recording fine and there's no problems with this new kind of setup that I've had to do quickly. But if you do notice anything weird, frames being dropped, stuff looks not right, please do let me know. I will do my best to address it for the next episode. Obviously, if there's something completely visually breaking, you may never ever be seeing this bit of commentary or this episode. I might even have to go and re-record it. I'm hoping it won't come to that. I'm pretty confident that it's all okay. But yeah, it's one of those things. People don't realise when you're doing YouTube videos and such, just stuff breaks. Like the game updates and recording software doesn't work, microphones cut out. I feel like if you ask any kind of one who does Football Manager on YouTube or any kind of YouTube in general, have you ever recorded a video and then realised your microphone is muted or not working? Every single person will say that they have done that at some point, and that is my perpetual fear with this series. That is my the thing that I am most fearful of screwing up with, is somehow ending up in a situation where maybe record an episode but the microphone isn't working for whatever reason. In terms of what I want to do in Martinez here, I could train to play as a complete forward, but actually a lot of the areas that are complete forward, that I train a young player in complete forward in to help them just improve a little, even if I don't think it's imperative to the role he's already kind of good at. So for example, I will very often train a young striker at complete forward to help with their aerial ability, their strength as well. Whereas for Martinez here, he's already a very good physical player, and most of the time he is going to play advanced forward. So with that in mind, I'm not as fussed about him working on his aerial ability or his long shots or heading. They're kind of adequate. So as a result, we'll just focus on what we need from him, which is this advanced forward role. If I was going to select an additional focus, I'm trying to think what I'd put here. He's a very, very well-rounded player. I guess his long shots could be a little bit better, and you could always work on his technique and finishing a little bit more. So I think that's what we will focus on here. His mentals, I guess, aren't super standout, so we could train him to play to do attacking movement. You know what? I might go with attacking movement on him. He's already a very mobile player. He's not a bad finisher by any means. I'm hoping he's going to be a man to bang in a lot of goals for us. Obviously, £6 million. That's not a massive fee, I feel like, in terms of modern football. Perhaps in Ligue, it is. Maybe I'm approaching this with my Premier League mindset. But I feel like £6 million for Martinez is a good bit of business. Transfer deadline is in 1 week. Is Saint Maxime the right player to go for here? You can see rated at 83 in terms of recommendation. He has a load of potential, which I do like the look of. His wage demands aren't too crazy. He's young. He's French. He looks very good. As an attacking right midfielder, he would slot in behind Bertrand Traoré and alongside Cornet in that area of the pitch. See, we do have an abundance of attacking midfielders, but a lot of them kind of overlap in positions in the wider areas. So I'm not against getting in St. Maxime. Obviously, a player like Terrier has shown that we do already have youngsters in this team that perhaps I was ready to disregard who are good enough. Obviously, what we've got here is all the wingers you might remember that we started scouting last time out, as well as a few players who I did follow-up scouting on. Interestingly enough, actually, Silla, who we almost pulled the trigger on a transfer for but fell through, recommendation of 66 really is a little underwhelming. Ziyech here is being recommended quite highly. See, he could be very good. He's not that dissimilar to Fekir. Inconsistent though in his age and wants a lot of money. That kind of puts me off him. I'd still like to get in Trincao. I'd still really like to get this guy in. And I know he's not going to want to join. At least I assume he's just going to reject us again because he's only just signed a new deal with his current club. But I feel like for £1.1 million, you're not going to get a better kind of value for money wide player. And also I mentioned Jack, you could loan him with a mandatory future fee. I'm not actually sure if that would work or not with this situation where he's rejecting us because he's just signed a new contract. Oh, do I want to bring in St. Maxim in? That is the question. I do like him. I do like him quite a lot. I kind of want to scout him a little bit more. I'm a bit paranoid that maybe he's inconsistent or injury prone and we don't know it yet. You can see our knowledge level is at 100%, so maybe that shouldn't be a concern for me. He's great at right on the right hand side. On the left hand side you can see he's right up there. Would compete for a first team slot. He's only 21. He's French. It's not the craziest fee in the world in terms of 9.75 million. It's not a small fee, but it's not certainly not breaking the bank. I'm just wondering if when we have players fit, who's going to fall out of the team. In a hypothetical situation, you know, when Bertrand Traoré and Depay are back in the starting 11 for Terrier and Cornet, Terrier's going to have to drop down. I guess then we'd move Gnabry out of the first team. I should really change, well, firstly set up his training, but I should change Gnabry's squad status to kind of back up. That's kind of where he's going to be. How does Gnabry compare to St. Maximin? See, Gnabry probably is a bit better, but St. Maximin is only 21 and he's French and he'd be a permanent signing. I don't know. Part of me feels like it's a bit too much. Part of me thinks he has one good season for us. His value doubles and we move him on for some profit. His wage demands really aren't that high either. I tell you what, I don't think we need him immediately. I'm going to delay it. I just want to get a follow-up scout report and see what has to be said. Trincao doesn't want to join us. I'm going to try the thing that someone suggested, which is that we make an offer to loan him. I don't know if we can make the offer right now. Someone suggested that I make an offer to loan him with a mandatory future fee. I don't think this will work, because I feel like when you offer a mandatory future fee, if I'm not mistaken, you negotiate the contract in advance. But if it does work, then I'm more than happy to do it, but I'm not sure it will. If this does work, I have learnt something new, thanks to you guys, which is nice. I like it when we learn something new. You can see he actually is available for loan. So if we put in a mandatory future fee, I'll put £1.2 million in and suggest it. So now the question is, will he actually come to us? A few more scout reports coming in here on some more of those youngsters that we were scouting in the national youth team. Lamine Diaby. He's a standout player. He really doesn't look that great currently. I saw a few comments saying, Jack, you should sign some young 16-year-olds for the future. Part of me does want to do that. Part of me also feels like, well, I don't want to do it this window just because I'd rather strengthen the first team and be happy with the team before I go spending any excess money which might be better spent in the first team. Interesting enough, looking at St. Maximin's secondary kind of scout report, his recommendation level has dropped to 71. Which is a bit of a drop. But I wonder if that's dropped because they're like, oh, he can't be signed at this moment in time. Which obviously the reason for that is the fact that he's in the process of coming to us. Do I want to sign him? Do I want to sign him? How has he done so far this year for Nice? Not that great. They signed him for 8.75 million and he played 30 games for them. I do like him. I do just wonder, as an inside forward, is he going to be lacking a bit in finishing and some of the mentals? Maybe. But I do like him. Part of me feels like there's probably a better option out there. You know, sometimes you get that... maybe this is just me. Sometimes I feel like I get this inkling, this feeling in the pit of my stomach. Yeah, you can see here Trincao doesn't want to join. So I didn't think that was going to work, but I wanted to give it a go. I gave you guys in the YouTube comments a chance to help me, and I feel burned for it. I think the comment even had some thumbs up, so you've all let me down. It's a team effort. No, don't worry about it. I actually appreciate when people suggest stuff that I might not otherwise know about, because I'm always learning stuff with FM. There's always new bits and pieces of knowledge. Unfortunately for us, Antonio Marin has broken his ankle and is now out for 3 to 4 months. Now, he was one of the kind of insurance policies in terms of backup wide player. With him now injured, I feel like the St. Maximin deal has to be done. Oh my gosh, I feel like I've got really unfortunate with injuries. There was one player who was mentioned by some people in the comments, actually, who I was kind of interested in. It was Gravenberch here. He's a very, very good young player who plays for Ajax. I do wonder if he kind of fills a role that we don't really need to fill in the team. But I'm just curious how much Ajax want for him. Realistically, I wouldn't really want to pay that much more than 4 million for him. Let's try and lowball them to start with and see what they say. 5 million? Is that going to be too much? 5.25. I'll get a scout report on him, but I feel like that's maybe a bit too much, especially if I'm thinking about signing St. Maximin. If we just compare the two players, I guess there's an argument to say that Gravenberch is better in some areas of his game. I mean, it's not a massive difference between the two players, really, is it? I guess it is, actually. The physicals and speed differences really can't be understated, because they're not things that are necessarily quick to improve. I mean, maybe I could rejig the budgets and be able to get both of them in. In terms of what I'm willing to offer Gravenberch, we'll go with 12,500. He's actually okay with that, which kind of surprises me a little. I don't want to give him a yearly wage rise. 5.25 million doesn't seem like the craziest large amount. How does he compare to Marin? Just out of curiosity, because he's kind of very similar to Marin. Both are similar age. You'd argue Gravenberch is better. Gravenberch, I mean, we got Marin for 1.2 million, I think. It was quite a small fee. Gravenberch is going to cost significantly more. I do wonder if maybe getting him in and St. Maximin is the way to go. But we can think about that as we go into this next game. We're going to be taking on Strasbourg, who, I'll be honest, I know very little about. Let's have a look at their team real quick. So if we look at their overview, they're predicted to finish 18th. I believe there's only 18 teams in the division. Okay, there's 20 teams in the division. I've lied. Their best player is Jonas Martin, or Jonas. It's Jonas. We're in France. We're not in a Scandinavian country. It's Je, not Ye, for the J sound. He actually looks very, very good. I wonder if Kenny Lala was one of their key players before we signed him, because this guy is good, but he's not great. Doesn't look that much better than Lala as a footballer on the whole. Anyway, you can see a load more players here who we're continuing just to get the scout reports on. Markovic is definitely an option that we could go for. Serbia counts as non-EU though, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So that could be a bit of a problem due to the limits that we have. I mean, maybe we can make a deal to bring him in at the end of the year. Maybe that's what we look to do here. Okay, I'll be honest, I didn't expect them just to accept a £1 million offer, but with that accepted, I think we will just go in for him. I know he's not the most original player, but he's just a very, very good player this year in FM, and I feel like we could have some fun developing him, you know, from the second season onwards. He's just signed a new contract, so that's not going to work either. Why are all the young players I'm excited about, you know, Trincao, Markovic, they've all just signed new deals. Do I want to give Martinez a start? Dembele has 1 goal in his first 2 games. I mean, let's just have a quick comparison of the two. I don't know if I compared them previously. I don't remember doing so. Oh, we did. I do remember doing so. It's all coming back to me. The deja vu just hit me like a wave. I think we will start Dembele, but Martinez will definitely get some time off the bench. Bertrand Traore just coming back from injury. He's not actually going to be fully fit until after the international break. I don't want to risk him unnecessarily in this kind of game. Lala, we could potentially have on the bench instead of Denayer. But actually, I think to begin with, he probably is going to be better suited to not being on the bench. I feel like actually he'll probably replace Morel on the bench as kind of our wing-back, and then we'll use Denayer more as just our go-to centre-back, replacement if we have any injuries at centre-back. Obviously, Denayer can play a few different positions as well. So between him and Lala, we'd have really, really good coverage on the bench. I mean, generally speaking, I'm quite happy with this team. I wouldn't mind trying to give Aouar a few starts here and there, but given how well Ndombele has started the year with his 3 assists and also Fekir, it's kind of difficult to justify playing him. And even at inside forward, with Terrier playing as well as he is, I can't really play him there either. So this is the team we'll go with. We'll go give Martinez a number. I'm going to give him the number 3 because it's the lowest number that I have available for him to take. Maybe next year, maybe, I don't want to make any promises, maybe next year we'll sort out the squad numbering correctly. Right, let's see how we get on today. I was about to do what I used to do in my Twitch streams and be like, hey, leave a score prediction in the comments. I mean, you can still do it. Obviously, there is a chance you're just going to cheat and skip forward and know the result, but get a score prediction down in the chat. I'll stick my neck out on the line. 4-0 win. Martinez to come on at half-time and score 2. I've called it now, folks. That's what's going to happen. I've got confidence. But no, let's see how we get on here. Hopefully we can get things off to a good start. Mendy to Terrier to Fekir. Whips it in Dembele out to Toussaint. Not known for his finishing, but apparently he has finishing in his locker. I thought this was going to be the typical ball-winning midfielder, edge of the box, smashing it over the crossbar. But no, inside 2 minutes we go a goal up. And well, I love the new Football Manager match engine with the new update. I love it. It's the best match engine ever. I can quit now. I'll have a really good kind of set of stats in terms of my personal performance in the new match engine. You can see actually they had a lot of the ball to start the game, but it hasn't meant a great deal when we've scored from that first shot of the game. Actually, out of our midfield and attack as well, Toussaint was the player with one of the lowest average ratings, who I was thinking, maybe I could bring in McTominay, give him a bit of game time. So good for him to get a goal. Hopefully that can be used to galvanise his season now and really get him going. Ndombele out wide to Tete. Tries to get the ball in and it's blocked. Wallace. I mean, he's not really in a hurry, is he, here to get the ball, but he does collect it. Now with Cornet. Really like seeing our wingers, or rather our wingbacks, really stretching teams wide here. The inside forwards doing their job and drifting inside, creating space. And well, Fekir, I thought he was going to finish that. I mean, it's been confirmed. Toussaint has better finishing than Fekir. They were in 2 pretty similar situations for those 2 efforts. Toussaint on a booking is a teeny tiny bit concerning. Be a good boy, please. What a ball that is to Dembele. Just couldn't quite make its way through in the end. But I admire the ambition of, I think it was Ndombele with the ball there, just to try and cut open the Strasbourg defence with just one big ball over the top. They've had their fair share of the ball here, and they are bringing it forward with Da Costa. Now with Martin, we've got really, really good kind of player positioning here in terms of we're not giving them a great deal of space to pass into, forcing an error out of them there. Terrier, what a ball that is to Dembele. Breaks through, hits it. I mean, would Martinez have scored it? Debatably would have. First clear-cut chance of the game comes our way. I would have thought that Dembele would finish that. Unfortunately, he hasn't. We might have a chance still from the set piece, though. Will be interesting to see if, with the Lyon back post corner tactic that I'm using, if that's been affected by the, match engine changes. Whenever a new FM match engine comes out, some roles, inevitably become a little stronger in the match engine. As much as I like to think of Football Manager really objectively as a super realistic football manager simulation, there's always stuff where you can kind of game the system when it comes to the match engine, be it on set pieces, be it, on a certain role or a certain synergy of roles, or, just certain formations. Last year, 3 strikers was really strong in FM 18 Toussaint. Please don't get sent off. I'm scared for him. I might take him off at half-time. Dembele's through here. Fekir's in the middle. He might go on his own. I mean, it's another great opportunity. That was considered a half chance. But Dembele smashes it straight at the keeper again. I mean, the good news is we're creating a hell of a lot of chances. The bad news is we're not really taking as many as I'd like. We have got a set piece here though. Fakir, set piece specialist. Set pieces did get some changes in the update as well. So maybe we'll see less free kicks fly in from, this episode onwards. Are we definitely on key highlights here? We are. It's been highlight after highlight after highlight. Strasbourg, I mean, they've not looked threatening going forward, but all it takes is one opportunity, and this could be it for them. Nice block by Tete at right back, though. Can we try and break away here? Gets the ball forward to Dembele, who wins it well. Ndombele to the second ball. That was superb. Cornet, what a ball that is. Dembele finished that. He's missed another. He has been fouled there as well. Maybe I should bring in Martinez at half-time. Oh, we've got VAR. How exciting. I forgot that VAR's in Ligue. Is this for a penalty? Was it in the box? Is that what we're debating? I wasn't paying enough attention. It's the moment of truth. What's it going to be? It's our first bit of VAR in the series. How exciting is this? Oh, he's done the hand action. It's a free kick. I thought it was a free kick. Don't know why it went to VAR. Can we make something happen here? Fakir dinks it in. Back post. Wallace. I mean, that's a penalty, right? Are we going to VAR again? Oh, we are. The VAR's given the pen. Who's going to take it? It's going to be Fakir, I assume. Indeed it is. Can he double our lead in this game? Of course he can. No nonsense penalty there. I mean, the VAR's got its money's worth today. It's taken a couple of days for it to kick in. 2 decisions in 2 minutes. And, well, a really good finish actually by Fakir. Wasn't right in the corner, but he's hit it so strong that the keeper really has no chance to react and readjust and, try and, read it. Half-time 2-0. Few more bookings than I'd like. It's a shame it's to the two players who have scored goals. I kind of want to take Toussaint off, despite the fact he scored. But I might leave him out for now. I will, however, bring in Martinez, I think, for Dembele. Dembele, just a little underwhelming. Had a few opportunities fall his way. We'll highlight Martinez as well. If I can't click on him, he moved too quick. But we'll highlight him just so we can kind of keep an eye on him and his movement and such. As the new striker, rocking the number 3 shirt. It's going to be maybe a little bit of an adjusting period for him, but this is the kind of game where we can bring him on relatively low risk, not a do or die moment really. At 2 goals up in this game, we should be able to cruise for the win. Let's make some changes here. I am going to take off Toussaint and bring in our box-to-box midfielder and then move Ndombele to ball-winning midfielder. I wouldn't say Ndombele is necessarily the natural ball-winning midfielder. I kind of brought McTominay in to do that for us. But with McTominay being a loanee, if there's an opportunity in this kind of game whereby I can bring in players contracted to us and let them play, of course I'm going to do it. As Ndombele actually hits the woodwork from that corner. Well, it wasn't the ideal corner. It wasn't the best ball in the box, but it almost found its way into the back of the net. And I feel like that's what really matters. I mean, time just trickling away here. It's not quite 4-0, but they have not had, well, many shots at all in this game. Can we keep another clean sheet? Get the ball out. Wallace, nice win there. Don't let them score in the last minute. Please, boys. Please, do it for me. Ibu Sissoko, what a name that is to Martin. I mean, nice win, Ndombele. If we could score, that'd be fine. I'd be okay with that. I feel like compared to Martinez in the first half, compared to Dembele in the first half, Martinez hasn't shown us a great deal. He's not really had the opportunities fall his way, but I can't complain too much. It's going to finish 2-0 here. Convincing performance, very, very good. 5 half chances, 2 clear-cut chances. Perhaps a teeny tiny bit concerning that we couldn't convert more of the opportunities that fell our way. But it's still a pretty good win. I feel like the next game is going to be the big one for us in terms of an early test. Monaco drawing, I guess, is kind of big for us. But yeah, next game is going to be against Nice, who have also won their opening games of the year. Martinez makes his debut for Fakir. Man of the match. Well played, Nabil. Well played. I'm wondering if I actually set up the penalty takers. I know that I did all the other takers for all the other set pieces. Did I do penalty takers? I'm doubting myself. I didn't, but Fakir probably is the best penalty taker in the team. Then Dembele, then Depay. That's probably about right. We'll add in Aouar and Cornet just the list, just as further backups. But the chances of not one of those 5 players playing seems pretty slim. Right, what do I want to do? Do I want to do anything? We've got £11 million and £57,000 wages left over. I'm just wondering if we could make both of these deals happen within our current budgets. I think we might be cutting it a little tight. I can ask the board for an increase to percentage of transfer revenue, but right now we've not really got any deals happening, so that doesn't mean a lot. Nice are not going to be an easy team for us to play against, though. Of course, they are going to have Balotelli on this. He hasn't made the move. Has he moved to Marseille in real life? Please forgive me if I'm wrong. I feel like I should know more about French football than I do. I feel like he's moved. Apparently, Mbia is no longer unhappy at the club. I mean, I'm unhappy that you're here, mate, if I'm honest. So I'd quite like to get rid of you. If we can. I'm going to go back and offer him out for nothing without any wage contribution and just see if anyone wants to take a punt on him. I'm beginning to think we might be stuck with him, although Udinese might be coming to the rescue. I'm not going to get too overly excited because I've been burnt before. But there is part of me now that thinks maybe it can happen. Champions League group stage draw. This is big. This is very big. I feel like we should put it on automatic draw and just watch it happen. We're a third seed, so it's not ideal. This is going to take forever. You know what? I'm removing all the tension. I'm deeply sorry. Draw all teams. Where are you going to put us, game? Juventus, Dortmund, Bruges. Oh, God, that's not a good group, is it, really? We're going to have Cristiano Ronaldo to deal with, and Dortmund are not going to be pushovers. Bruges, I feel like there was a few easier teams out there, but I guess we have dodged a few teams like Benfica, Inter as well. Although I don't know if we could have got in Inter's group, given the fact we've got Juve in our group. Oh, it's not an easy group, is it? Sometimes you can kind of get lucky with a second or first seed. I mean, no disrespect by this, but sometimes, you get drawn with a Russian team in your group and you think, oh, that's pretty good. The second seed was a Russian team. You kind of have a bit of a chance, whereas I feel like to get a team like Dortmund is a teeny bit concerning. Right, it is deadline day, by the way. We have also got that Nice game coming up. I feel like I might just go for Alan St. Maxime. Have our scouts found anyone new who they think we should be going for desperately? I mean, well done. You found Alexander Arnold. Really don't know what to say to that. You can see a few players here with their kind of potential asking prices listed as well. Ndicka's okay. He's okay, but he's unhappy at the moment. He's the kind of player who I'd rather sign for a little less money than what they want, at least at the moment. I've never heard of this guy before. Michael Gregorich. I don't speak Austrian. I tried. That was an awful attempt at the pronunciation, by the way. I should be apologising for that. Ezekiel Palacios is an interesting one. He's a very, very good playmaker, but the only issue we have is that we can't bring him in because of the EU player registration rules. Do I want to sign Gravenberch? I think I do. I actually feel like I want him ahead of St. Maxime, but I've not scouted him, which is a tiny bit of a concern. And I'm not going to get a scout report before the window. I mean, I'll level with you. I have this guy in my Norwich City save, and he's incredible. My Norwich save is just one that I kind of did for fun over Christmas, when I didn't have the means to record. And I had this guy. I didn't play a great deal of it after I signed him. I kind of signed him when he was in his prime for, I will say now, significantly more than £5 million. Do I want to bring him in? You know what? With Marin getting injured, I actually think this guy's a better addition to the team than St. Maxime. So I'm going to bring him in. He's 16, he's an exciting young player. Dijon have offered a loan deal for Maxi here. I mean, no, he's not available for loan. I kind of want him in the first team. I know some people really value loans. I'm someone who really isn't that fussed about loaning players. I find that I'd much rather have a player just in the reserves or in the under-23s and focus their development. I find that unless a player asks for a loan and a very suitable kind of team comes in, very rarely the actual kind of benefits of it are pretty slim. You know, if I'm going to loan out a player, I want them playing regular first-team football at a team with good facilities. Worth noting here, Ziyech has gone to Monaco. So they've signed Almiron and Ziyech this window. That is a little interesting that they've gone that big with 2 players. Although looking at it here, Almiron's... Okay, it's not a big injury. I thought Almiron was going to be out for a long time, for a longer-term injury. It does make you wonder with all these attacking midfielders that Monaco are bringing in, are they going to have some problems with player happiness? Maybe we could pick up Almiron in the later transfer window. Interestingly enough here, Nîmes have made a loan offer for Gravenberch, which obviously we're going to reject, because I think we might need him as a little bit of backup in the first team. We will make him available for the reserves. In terms of where I see him playing for us, I actually think he could be the inside forward that we've been looking for, because his passing and vision are good, but they're not kind of stand out. And then we'll train his shooting. And then Aouar, who I had kind of been considering, becoming that kind of left player, who actually he can now play on the left-hand side adequately, just because he has got better passing vision and technique. I kind of value those more in a more central player. I think now we'll look at Aouar, whilst he will occasionally play out on the left-hand side, we'll very much value him as more of a central playmaker player rather than, making him a bit of a jack of multiple trades. So, I'm now wondering if I can even make the Saint-Maxime deal happen. I made the signing of Gravenberch with the consideration I might not be able to make the deal happen. I think we can, but the issue is we're going to be over our wage budget, which is fine. Because, well, it's not fine. It's not great, but it's okay. Can I not confirm the deal? I guess not. I guess because it's transfer deadline day, I'm going to get asked to confirm the deal later today for him. Or is the reason I can't confirm the deal because of the money? It could potentially be that. There's lots of youngsters here who are having loan offers for them. I really don't want to loan them out. There's 2 hours left of the window and the Saint-Maxime deal still isn't happening. I've got this horrible feeling it's just going to... Is there a reason I can't ask for confirmation? The only thing I can think is it's the budget. So if I just shuffle the budgets around here just to give us the transfer money that we need to make it happen, can I now ask for the deal to be confirmed? Yes. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, we can ask for this to be done. We're going to be over the wage budget, but I'm okay with that. I think he's going to be a good player for us, Saint-Maxime. He's definitely a punt. There is absolutely no denying that, and he's not a cheap punt. But I'm going to trust in the system. He's a young French winger at worst. I don't think we're going to lose money on him, which might seem like a bit of a weird logic to follow here, but it's the logic that I'm going to choose to follow. I do actually really rate this guy as well. I think he's a very, very good player. I'm a little bit concerned about his lack of finishing, but I think I'd rather maybe work on his ability in the final third. Help with his composure and decisions. His anticipation could do with being a little bit better. Or we could go with attacking movement, or we could go with shooting. Or we could go with passing. Although, whilst his passing's a weakness, I feel like his first touch and technique I'm not so worried about. Oh, the decisions, the dilemmas. The dilemmas. You know what? I think we'll focus on attacking movement, his decisions, anticipation and off the ball. I could train his final third, but his composure at 12 is actually kind of semi-reasonable, I feel like. And yeah, we're going to train him to play out on the left-hand side. With him coming in, I do see him actually as a player will probably play on the bench ahead of Gnabry. Whilst Gnabry might be slightly better, he's a loanee. We've brought him in on a very small amount of money. I'm kind of the opinion of that I'm not going to lose sleep if we don't play him that much. You can see we were the biggest spenders. We actually ended up spending £39 million, which is more than I anticipated we were going to spend. Of course, that 39 million is since I came, so from the Wallace deal, well, actually, no, from the Marin deal onwards. That doesn't include the Ndombele signing. But I feel like Wallace was the big signing, but besides him, I feel like we've got some pretty good value in the market. We've not spent massive amounts. There is a joke. What is the Joker transfer window? We're allowed to make a single purchase from another French club in this window. Literally did not know this was a thing. I don't remember this from last year at Sochaux. And Bia rejects Udinese. I should have known. I should have known, folks. Right, can we fix the wage budget situation at all by jiggling some money over? I mean, we can jiggle a little bit of money over. We are still over our budget. But I'm not going to worry about that. If the board are unhappy that I'm spending over the budget, they can come to me and tell me that they're unhappy about me spending over the budget. Interestingly enough, we've now got this game against Nice where Maximin is going to be playing against his former club immediately. So that could be a spicy game. This could be an interesting one. In terms of the team, is there much I want to change from the last game? We've got a few players who are one yellow card away from a suspension, which is a teeny tiny bit concerning. I think we'll take off Dembele for Martinez. You can see Dembele on a 6.9 is a tiny bit disappointing after 3 games. Cornet has been a bit hit and miss. I'm always tempted to play Maximin. Give him a chance on his debut against his former club. He is going to be playing inside forward on the right-hand side, which is a shame because it does mean he isn't going to be able to cut in on his stronger foot. But it's kind of a chance I'm willing to take. I do really like this guy. As much as I feel like his mentals are very much lacking, I feel like his pure physicality, just absolute pace, is something that very much fits into our team and what we do. I mean, I'm looking forward to having Depay and Bertrand Traore back, but I look at our team now. It's still a pretty good team, if you ask me. I don't want to rotate things too much because actually the team performances have been very good. We're yet to concede in 3 games. Yes, the games have been, I don't want to say easy, but they've not been the hardest games for the year. I mean, I feel like you've still got to win them. But this will be a bit more of a test for us. You can see they are playing a very, very defensive system. They've got Morpai and Balotelli up top for them. Maybe this is going to be a bit more of a challenge to break them down. Given the fact that they are playing with wing-backs, I might change off the back our tactics slightly. And I might move our inside forwards onto a more attacking duty. Or rather, yeah, duty. And then change Fekir onto advanced playmaker, or sorry, attacking midfielder on support. Just because most of the time the reason I play the inside forwards on support is because I want them to help the defence out a little bit. But against a team like Nice here, who aren't just playing with one set of wide men in their wing backs, I feel like the inside forwards, they can have a bit more free roam permission, I guess, to do stuff going forward. We've got a chance here. Fekir, what a run, what a goal. I'm going to be honest, I thought he was going to smash it wide. And he's just done that. I mean, that's an incredible solo goal. I wasn't really anticipating it amounting to much. I was thinking, great, it's going to be another one of those pointless highlights. Fekir picks it up. He just runs around literally the whole back, like 7 players for Nice, and then tucks it into the bottom corner, in off the post. I mean, Fekir, as a Liverpool fan, I have mixed emotions about feeling some degree of affection for you after the transfer saga that happened. But, I mean, Terrier's now... I mean, I love it. I love it. I'm already in love with this Lyon side. What a goal that is by Terrier. He absolutely sledgehammers it home for his 3rd goal of the season. To start with another assist for his scrapbook. Ndombele involved in play as well. Just a reminder, Nice have not lost a game coming into this. And whilst we are at home, whilst we are the better team and probably favourites to win it, to start the game this well is absolutely superb. 2 real kind of fine finishes from outside the box. I don't think the keeper can take the blame for either of them. At the same time, I want to give myself a little bit of a self-congratulatory pat on the back for the change in system, because it seems to have worked for us. And now we have another chance here. Marcelo, can you keep it in? Bit out on his own, loses out to Sarr. Maybe they're going to look to hit us on the break, although they've not got anyone forward. Tete, big ball up. Terrier's there, hits it, rebound. Martinez scores. We're having a party. It's 3-0, folks. Joseph Martinez, the Venezuelan, comes in on his first start for the club. Bags a goal. Now, yes, it was a tap-in, but they all count. And Tete, can we just discuss that ball? Can we just discuss that pass? That is absolute filth. The shot might have deflected, and I think it was going in anyway. Whatever you say, it doesn't really matter for us. Was he onside? He was. You can see comfortably onside as well. Terrier, who I don't even know if he got credited with the assist there. We've now got another set piece. It's not been half an hour yet. Can we settle down? Ball with Wallace here at the back post. Now with Marcelo, the two centre-backs. Interestingly getting involved in play. Terrier hits it, parried, rebound maybe. Martinez, one touch. Saved away. It could have been another. It probably should have been another. We've scored more difficult chances than that this game. I mean, look at the stats. 61% of possession. Nice have done nothing. They've had one shot. Somehow it wasn't on or off target. I assume it was blocked. But they have done nothing. And at half-time, 3-0. I mean, what can you say? What a half that has been for us. Absolutely superb. St. Maxime hasn't had the craziest of halves against his former club on a 6.8, but, I mean, you can see a Terrier on an 8.2. We started the episode on his profile saying that he'd been kind of the standout kind of surprise package. I'm a little bit concerned when Depay gets fit. Where does Terrier fit into the team? Can I drop Depay for him? I feel like that would be a little bit difficult to justify. Once the Champions League starts up, though, we definitely will be using our entire squad. So in some ways, it's good to see the backup players that we might be relying on really stepping up and showing us what they're made of here. And it looks like, at least at the start of this second half, we are not taking our foot off the gas. We want to keep things going here. Fekir, you can see the inside forward on attack playing so high up the pitch, it forces the fullback to deal with them and creates so much space for the wingback to run into. I don't know how we've not scored again there. We've hit the woodwork. And then there were two further chances. They've changed their system to approach things with more caution. I'd be approaching things with caution if I was getting bullied this badly in a game. St. Maximin, I'd love him to get a goal or an assist against his former club. Ndombele, Fekir here. Not the best corner initially. Can he put in a better ball this time? He can't. I was about to ask if Marcelo could do it. The game answers it for me, but we've got another chance immediately. I mean, they are penned in. Look at this build-up play. Penalty? It is a penalty. We're consulting VAR. Again, it's been given. Fekir to take it. Scored one last time out. A chance to double his tally today for this match. Can he score it? Of course he can. Goes down to the left again. This time, perhaps a little bit more of a, one of those penalties into the bottom corner. A better penalty than the previous one. A little bit more control about it, but the keeper went the wrong way. 4-0 here after 50 minutes, and it's hard to say that we don't deserve it. This kind of relatively untested 4-2-3-1 really has worked well, and particularly this adaptation that we've done with the kind of attacking wide men. It really has, created acres of space for our wing-backs to go into. The wide defenders for them just overloaded. The inside forwards drift inside. The wing-backs feel compelled to man-mark them and track them inside. You can see Vapor Atal at right wing-back. He's on a booking. He's on a 5.9 as well. He has not had the best of games. We can do some changes here. I'm going to bring in Aouar. I'm going to bring him in for Ndombele. I don't really want to take off St. Maximin or Martinez. I might just take off Fekir to protect him a little bit, although he is on a hat-trick. You know what? We'll take off Terrier and bring in Cornet. And I think with our last change, we'll take off Marcelo and bring in Denayer. Just give Denayer a bit of match time, a bit of an opportunity to build some match fitness. There's players like Denayer who are going to want first-team football this year, and whilst they will get it once we get into the European campaign and have to rotate the team a little bit more, this is kind of a good opportunity just to give him a quick 15-20 minutes, keep him happy and at least on our side shorter term. Fekir for the hat-trick. Saved by the keeper. Denayer, can he get there? He can't. For a second I thought he was going to have an unlikely impact, shall we say. The ball did not cross over the line, if you were wondering. I wasn't wondering. I thought the keeper saved it fine, but the game felt compelled to show us that it didn't cross the line. Goal line technology doing its job. I mean, 4-0, what can you say? What a performance this has been. And Strasbourg, who we beat last time out, beating Nantes, I noticed there, 3-0. So that result against them, although 2-0 felt perhaps a little underwhelming in the moment, given their current scoreline, maybe that was a very good performance. Maybe the media are underrating them a little bit. I'll tell you what's particularly pleasing is the fact that it feels like all the transfers we've made have hit the ground running, relatively speaking. None of them have had loads of bad games and look like a waste of money. Now, whether or not I'll be saying that in 10 games' time remains to be seen. But at least to start things here at Lyon, things largely just look very, very positive, and it's difficult not to be just excited by what we've got going on here. We're top of the league, 11 goals positive goal difference, and we are yet to concede. Fakir, man of the match once more. Not the first time this season. It won't be the last time. Saint-Maximin makes his debut against his former club. 7.4 rating. That's a very, very good performance. You can see he did get a goal and assist in his last game that he ever played for them. So hopefully he's going to be able to keep up the numbers that he's put in today for us throughout this whole season. And if he can, that fee of just shy of £10 million is really going to look like money well spent. Anyway, next time we will be taking on Cannes, and Juventus is actually the first of those games. And Marseille. Wow, we're going to have some games coming thick and fast next time out. As I mentioned, I probably will just play the next 2 weeks off camera. Obviously, I know the save is called Lyon Live. I feel like the international break, especially when the transfer window's closed, there's not going to be too much happening, you know, in terms of players getting unhappy this early on into the season. We might do some training tweaks here and there, but it's not going to be anything too substantial. And I feel like the matches are really where, you know, we can really have a bit more of a focus with things, you know, how we adapt our tactic versus certain systems, like we did today at kickoff, and obviously we did it against Rennes previously. I definitely feel like the matches are something where I'd like to talk more about the logistics of what I'm doing and why we're doing them. And, well, that came away from home against Juventus. It might be our first time trying out one of our alternative systems, you know, the Gegenpressing 5 in midfield. Or maybe we go for the narrow counter-attacking formation that, I'll be honest, completely untested, could backfire spectacularly. But, well, we'll leave that to find out next time, won't we? Anyway, guys, I do hope you've enjoyed today's Lyon Live. Again, another hour-long special for you. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, do leave a like on it. If you're new to the channel and you've somehow got to the end of this video, don't forget to subscribe. Series playlist down below if you want to binge watch and you're watching this many years in the future. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.